14 cents. That was the number in January. The original GPT-3 API was $60 per million tokens in 2020. The math worked. CFOs exhaled. Roadmaps unlocked. A 430 times price drop in 4 years. Some analyses put the full collapse at over 16,000 times since 2020. By any measure, AI inference got cheap. Everyone said so, and then the bills started arriving. Not because the price went back up, because the price was only one of the two variables in the formula. Nobody tracked the other one. The villain is a spreadsheet, an internal ranking board showing who uses Claude Code the most. It made the second variable invisible until the budget was gone. Uber found out in April. Microsoft found out when they ran a full-cost model on their agent deployments. Goldman Sachs put a number on what happens next. The number is 24. 95% of Uber's engineers use AI tools every month. 70% of committed code is AI-generated. 11% of live backend updates are fully agent-written. By every internal adoption metric, the rollout was working. They ran internal leaderboards. Who is using Claude Code the most? Who is committing the most AI-generated lines? Engineers responded rationally to the incentive. They used it more. By April, the 2026 AI budget was gone. The whole 12-month allocation. 4 months in. Claude Code and Cursor, fully exhausted. $500 to $2,000 per engineer per month in API costs. Multiply that by a few thousand engineers before you add the infrastructure bill. Andrew McDonald is Uber's chief operating officer. He had usage numbers any AI vendor would put in a pitch deck. And in May 2026, he said 5 words that belong on every enterprise AI contract. That link is not there yet. He cannot connect the rising use of Claude Code to any innovation a customer experiences. The tokens are consumed. The value is theoretical, which means the usage metric was wrong from the start. Adoption is not value, and the token bill is real whether or not any customer value followed. Uber is not the exception. Every enterprise running agentic workloads is running the same math. The token count just has not hit the quarterly review yet. A chatbot query uses around 2,000 tokens. One agentic loop, same task, same model, with tool calls, retries, and context accumulation, uses 20,000 to 200,000. The cost collapse was real. The original GPT-3 API was $60 per million tokens in 2020. DeepSeek got it to 14 cents. But the collapse only answered half the question. Goldman Sachs published the other half in May. Their report, Decoding the Agentic Economy, projects token consumption hitting 120 quadrillion per month by 2030, a 24 times increase. Driven entirely by agents. Agentic tasks require 10 to 50 times more tokens because queries repeat in sequence. A multi-step agent is not more intelligent than a chatbot. It is just running longer than anyone planned. So the price falls, the token count rises faster. The bill is the product of both. One line goes down, the other goes up. The total bill follows the one going up. Microsoft ran the full cost model. Licensing fees, compute, API usage, integration engineering, maintenance overhead. When you count everything, AI agents cost more than the human workers they were supposed to replace. Not in edge cases. On average. Microsoft's own internal data. And they build the infrastructure that runs these models. Brian Catanzaro is VP of Research at Nvidia. He designs the silicon that runs these inferences. He said this in 2026 without hedging. For my team, the cost of compute is far beyond the costs of the employees. He is not alarmed. He is stating a condition. This is what the economics look like from inside the hardware lab. And then there is token maxing. Employees ranked internally on AI usage started gaming the metric, over-generating outputs, running agents longer than needed. Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon are all pulling back internally. Anthropic saw the usage explosion and made a pricing decision. Enterprise customers moved from flat monthly fees to usage-based billing. Heavy agentic users now pay dramatically more. Not for worse service, for more loops. The providers are not passing cost reductions through at full rate. Goldman estimates per token prices fall 60 to 70% per year. The margin is the expanding gap between their production cost and your invoice. Anthropic's revenue run rate hit $47 billion in May, up from $9 billion at the end of 2025. The collapse made the providers rich, not their customers. So the 14 cents was not a lie, it was an incomplete sentence. The full sentence includes a second variable that nobody put in the board deck. There is a CTO somewhere who approved an agentic deployment in Q1. Not at Uber. Somewhere smaller. The engineers are building, the agents are running. The token bill has not been opened since March. The approval came with a budget built on chatbot-era estimates. 2,000 tokens per task, times the expected volume, times 14 cents per million. The math made sense in January. They will check the bill in July. The number will surprise them, not because AI got expensive, because nobody modeled what an agent does between the start prompt and the output. Planning, tool calls, retries, context refills. Each one costs tokens. The agent is not working harder than the chatbot. It is just running longer than anyone budgeted. The math is not broken. Agentic AI can deliver real return on investment, but only if you count both variables in the formula, not just the one your vendor put in the pitch. Count the loops, not the price. Set a token budget per agent task before deployment. Instrument your agents to log token depth. Uber had the adoption rate. It did not help. Anthropic will keep cutting the price per token, and your agents will use twice as many tokens next year because the tasks get harder and contexts get longer. The bill does not solve itself. The 14 cents was not a lie. It was an incomplete sentence. 14 cents per million tokens times however many millions your agents burn between start and output. Nobody finished the sentence. Count the loops, not the price. The vendors will not tell you this. Their incentive runs the other way. Every agentic loop your engineers run is revenue for them. Token depth logging has to come from your side. By Q3 2026, at least 3 more publicly traded companies will report unexpected AI cost overruns from agentic deployments, not because the technology failed, because they measured adoption and called it return on investment. If you deployed an agent in Q1 and you have not pulled the token depth logs, do it before your Q2 review. The actual number either confirms your estimate or tells you something useful. Uber optimized for the leaderboard and burned a year's budget in 4 months with no measurable customer outcome. What metric are you using to justify your agentic deployment? Adoption rate or cost per shipped feature?